What happened to Saul as he was approaching to Damascus?
Jesus made Saul blind.
Okay. Why do you think Jesus revealed himself to Saul?
He revealed himself to Saul because Saul was persecuting his people and he wanted Saul to be Christian, not a bad person.
In what ways do you think God reveals himself to us?
He reveals himself to all of us to remind us he is with you. Like with me, he helps me get good grades.
There we go. So, why do you think the men who were with him, who were with Saul, who were with Saul, were not able to see anyone?
Because the people with Saul were only doing what Saul told them. But the reason Saul was trying to get rid of all the Christians was for God, because he put God first, and really his intention was good. He was only trying to please God, and even though his actions weren't right, his motives were in the right place.
So, number 4. In the case of Saul, until Jesus spoke to him, he thought that persecuting Christians would please God, like he said. Can you think of a time where you did something that would please God, but later found it was displeasing to him instead? So, for me, about like 3 or 4 years ago, my mom told me to clean my room. And I didn't want to do it because it was a lot of work. And my clothes are everywhere. I was dirty. And so what I did was I collected, since that Sunday, I was in church and I learned about honor your father and mother, and then you will obey God. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I just gathered all my clothes. Wait, I'm not done. Hold on. I gathered all my clothes, my stinking socks and everything, put them all in my closet, closed the closet, made sure there were nothing that were hanging from the closet so that there was no suspicion. Made my bed and just slept on the bed smiling, waiting for my mom. And so the purpose of this was I was disobeying God because I was lying to my mom in a way. I wasn't actually fixing my room. God can see everything, and He can see your heart. And me putting my clothes inside of my closet signals that, oh, my mom's gonna see the outside of me, and the outside of me is more important than the inside. That's how I'm signaling myself. And that was the real, that was the real sin in my intention. My intention was for good, but what I did was bad, and so that's really how it is. So number 5, as we continue to read the Bible.
It's not broken. Go turning it on and off. No, it's not working. Low.
It's on.
I'll just speak loud.
Give us some.
The question is,
The question is, as we continue to read the Bible, we find that Saul, later named Paul, becomes a fervent follower of Christ. He once was an infamous Christian persecutor, but after having spoken to Christ, becomes a prominent Christian leader. In what ways has Christ changed your life?
Jesus Christ is such an inspirational being as well as the concepts Christianity supports. Christ has always been there for me to lead me to God and away from sin. Knowing that Jesus is there allows me to fully explore who I am and understand my people. Without Christ, I do not think that I'd be able to overcome the challenges that lie before me in life that most people fear. Thanks to Jesus Christ being with me, I can overcome my goals.
So, number 6, from reading the passage, we do not see any resistance from Saul. He is ready to give up his old ways and follow the new road that leads to Christ. Do you think making a spiritual change is easy? Why or why not? what are some of the challenges one can face while trying to make these changes? So, making a spiritual change is changing yourself in general. That's how I believe. And changing yourself is changing your habits, what you do, how you do things. And no, it is hard for me because changing myself spiritually depends on how I present myself to God. Am I trying to please God or am I trying to please people around me? And the way all of us should change ourselves spiritually is by spending time with God, reading the Bible, coming to church, praying. There are people that can help you do this. I have an amazing Bible study teacher. His name is Ted. I have another uncle who helps me in my spiritual walk with Christ. His name is Jonas. I have my mother, my family. I have many people that can help me change spiritually. And the way that I do it is not strong enough for myself. So the answer to that question is it is difficult, but it can be overcome with Christ. So, number 7.
Why do you think Saul's blindness? What do you think Saul's blindness symbolizes? Well, Saul, he thought that the people who followed Jesus Christ weren't, doing the right thing, and they weren't, obeying God the way that he intended everyone to. And he sort of thought that they were blind in how they were thinking of Jesus Christ. But Jesus showed him through his message that he was blind. And he actually literally made him blind. And so he could understand his problems. And he had to metaphorically learn to see again through the right way of how God wanted people to think of each other and Jesus Christ.
Number 8. At first, Ananias was skeptical about visiting Saul to do his past. However, God informed Ananias that Saul was chosen by him. What will you do if someone judges you based on the things you did in the past? I have 2 answers to this question. One answer is how I would react to this and if someone judged me, or how a proper Christian person would react to this. How I would react to this is, okay, you judged me in this fashion, so therefore I'm gonna get you back, and I'm gonna point out what you did, how you did something wrong, and I'm gonna judge you based on that. That's how I would probably do it, because if someone judged me and I did something wrong, basically what I did wrong, I would feel depressed. I would feel sad, and he's pointing out my weakness, and I don't want people to know my weakness. I have pride, and that is the problem between us. That because of our pride, we let people that judge us hurt our feelings, and so yes, that is one part of the question. If someone judged me, I would judge them back. That's like an eye for an eye thing. But that is not the right way. The Christian way, the way that you are supposed to walk, the way how you walk with Christ is, if someone judges you, if someone slaps you, you turn to the other cheek. And so that doesn't mean you let them judge you even more or make you even feel worse, but you accept what they have said and you say, you are right, I'm sorry, I will not make that mistake again, and I will become a better person, and I will not let that happen. Thank you for pointing that out in my life. If you say this in a loving way to that person that's judging you, you will find that they will be attracted to you. Not to you, but to the Holy Spirit within you that's giving you the information, that's giving you the help that you need to be able to live with Christ. And so, yeah.